Let's start with SOT 51, where he was asked why Jeffrey Epstein would say, quote, he likes them young.
In the Epstein cases that Epstein said, you, quote, like them young. Why would Epstein say that about you?
First of all, that's not true.
What's not true?
That I have any interest in underage.
I didn't say underage, I said young.
But it's still not true.
Is an intern young?
Yes.
Okay.
At my age, anybody younger than I am.
Did you know Jeff?
Oh my gosh, brutal. Brutal. I'm so uncomfortable watching the whole thing. Is an intern young? Yes. That's, of course, why Jeffrey Epstein said, you like him young. Don't make me show the picture again, Mr. President, of you leering at my friend's breasts when she was 20 years old at the Bombay Club in Washington, D.C. My pair of friends, we were all around 20 at the time, and they were in Washington, D.C., and so were you. You were still president. It was 1999, and you were leering down her blouse with your hand sneaking up the side on the side boob of my other friend. Okay, so Meg Florence and Abby Rittman might dispute your statement that you don't like them young. I saw it myself. In any event, there was that. Then he was asked about that viral hot tub moment that we all saw from the Epstein files, where you can see him. It's larger than a hot tub. It's like a bath, like one of those traditional Roman baths. It's like large, and you can swim around in. It bears more of a resemblance to a pool when you see the larger shots. And he was asked about this. Here's how that went. SOT 50.
Do you recall the details of this photo? Recall the photo being taken?
No, I don't think I ever knew the photo was taken. This picture was taken in Brunei.
Were there other people in that pool or hot tub with you as well?
I don't think there's anybody in the hot tub. I didn't forgotten that there was anybody in the hot tub.
This photo, there's a girl over here, or there's someone.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
But he's also asking in the pool area were there other individuals?
I don't know who that is.
Okay, so you don't know?
No, and then there were other people in the pool.
Okay, so do you remember who, were they under 18? Would you know? No.
Were they part of your traveling party, he's asking you?
Yes, they were, I think. I think everybody there was part of our party. I swam around, I sat in the hot tub for 5 minutes, or whatever it was, and I got up and went to bed.
And then I have to ask this, did you engage in any sexual activity with this person?
I went to bed. Who is with you? That kind of gets to one of the core issues. This is so uncomfortable, but it's fair game. He was very close with Epstein. He was all over the world with him. He was on the plane 17 times. Like, these are fair game questions of Bill Clinton. Hillary didn't seem to know anything, but Bill knew a lot. And part of what was interesting about the dynamic was watching his lawyer. It was very annoying, her speaking objections. You know, when you take a deposition, the lawyer defending the deponent is not supposed to do a bunch of speaking objections. But man, it was, and so was the male. He was flanked by two lawyers, a female and a male, and both of them were completely trying to telegraph to Bill Clinton the answers. He's asking you to get into Jeffrey Epstein's mind and opine on what he may or may not have been thinking. You know, like you're supposed to say objection to form at a deposition. That's all you're supposed to say, so that you can preserve your substantive objection for when this case ever proceeds to, let's say, a trial, if somebody got indicted. So these speaking objections were inappropriate and ubiquitous yesterday. You didn't see much of it there, but trust me, because I watched a lot of this. There's another one here about whether he thinks Jeffrey Epstein killed himself. That's the $64,000 question for many. SOT 55.
Do you believe that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself?
Are you asking him to speculate on how Mr. Epstein died?
I'm asking what the president thinks of.
So you're asking his opinion?
Mr. President, was your friend Jeffrey Epstein suicidal?
Are you classifying him as a friend who he has testified that he was friendly?
He has called him a friend in a letter.
He said he was friendly, but not. True. You've asked for his testimony.
Mr. President, do you believe that Jeffrey Epstein was suicidal?
Do you know?
Was he ever suicidal?
Best of your understanding.
I don't know. I only know what the medical finding was. I think maybe
That's it.
He finally got caught, and I don't know. I've accepted it in my own mind. I don't know what happened,
Mr. President, what did you accept? That he killed himself or that he did not?
but he did. But I don't know.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Neither
Mr.
do you.
President.
We don't. None of us know.
Did you hear his lawyer say, that's it? He tried to cut him off from answering, and Bubba was there to chat. He was ready, said, I think he got caught. Caught what, sir? Caught what? I mean, really, that's the interesting conversation. He wasn't prepared to give up too many details on that, of course, but it is interesting to hear him talk about his own theory on Jeffrey Epstein. You can only imagine what he was thinking because they had known each other very well. Trump, too, for that matter. What was he thinking the day he heard that Epstein allegedly killed himself? Like, after all the hours they'd spent together, I mean, I'm sure Bill Clinton was like, oh, shit, this is going to turn into a nightmare now because when there's no actual resolution in a court of law, as there ultimately would have been against Jeffrey Epstein, you know, the unanswered questions are sometimes the most dangerous ones. And that's, I think, proven true in the Epstein case. So there you have it. I think he got caught. He got caught. Very interesting answer. The following clip has gone a bit viral because he was smiling as he looked at Epstein documents showing, for example, a photo of him framed in Epstein's home in Manhattan. This is the pictures from a New York Times piece in 2025. Some had mistakenly thought it was that same picture that we just showed of him in the pool. It's not. It's a different photo of him. And you can watch. It's interesting to sort of watch his reaction to it in SOT 57.
It's that. Let me see it. Okay.
Mr. President, we have about 5 minutes remaining in the majority's first hour.
Okay, what's interesting about it is because he's all smiles for the listening audience. He's like ear to ear with a smile as he looks back over the New York Times article, and his lawyer takes it from him. Clearly, she doesn't want him getting too interested in this subject, and then sees the picture of himself and Epstein. And by the way, for the listening audience, it's a picture of the two of them looking like BFFs, just looking at each other like bros in a picture. He's not in a hot tub. He's not naked. He's not with a girl. He's just with Epstein like a great friend. We're showing the audience the picture. They're like side by side. Looks like they're at some sort of like a bar or table, both arms up on the table and looking at each other like, I mean, can you imagine being a fly on that wall and hearing that discussion? What we wouldn't give. Okay, so overall, it wasn't, earth-shattering. That he denied any knowledge of Epstein's sex crimes. When asked if he ever had any communications with Epstein related to young women or girls, he said no. He briefed lawmakers on the backstory of his history with Epstein and denied having any knowledge, again, of the sex crimes before he was prosecuted. He denied having sex with a mystery woman pictured next to him in that hot tub. Again, he explained it was taken at a lavish hotel in Brunei with the Sultan inviting him there. He said, my team was working on the AIDS issue, and Epstein was there, as was Ghislaine Maxwell. The Sultan of Brunei was a man I had gotten to know well. I want you to stay at this hotel, and I hope you'll use the pool, he said. So I did. He could not identify the woman in the hot tub with him and was adamant that he did not have sex with her. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. By the way, he was asked whether he's ever lied under oath before, like when he said he didn't have sexual relations with Miss Lewinsky. And listen to how that went. Short SOT here, 54.
First question I have for you, Mr. President. Have you ever lied in a deposition?
No.
Have you ever lied while under oath?
No.
No, he says. Okay. I mean, he was impeached for doing exactly that, but he did deny the charges even then. Pretty sure it wasn't true when he said he did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. And that's pretty well established. But I think he just did it again, quite frankly. That was another lie under oath. Let's see. Oh, then there was a question about Trump and Epstein, asked of Bill Clinton here in SOT 58.
I hate this, but because I don't believe I should inject anything. But I do not want to leave the impression, but since there was no follow-up question, the president never, this is 20-something years ago, never said anything to me to make me think he was involved in anything improper with regard to Epstein either. He just didn't. That's the truth. As I said earlier, the only conversation I had with President Trump about this was in the early 2000s. And I have no information that he did anything wrong.
Well, and that's the relevant time frame, because Bill Clinton was hanging out with Epstein right after his presidency in that 2000 to 2004 time period. And President Trump, then just Donald Trump, was very close with Epstein from, I think, 2006 backward 10 years. So when they were talking would have been the relevant time frame. And he's saying he never said anything to me about Epstein and young girls and anything, knowing any of that or participating in any of that at the relevant time frame. So that is interesting and probative. And by the way, also puts the lie to Bill's and Hillary's claim that they had absolutely nothing of value to offer and no relevant information to discuss. He did. She didn't really have too much to say, but he absolutely did. And it was very wormy that they tried to get out of it by claiming they knew nothing. It was not true in his case, and that was made clear by the deposition yesterday, and notwithstanding his lawyer's best attempts to make him look like he in fact was a know-nothing. Here's Hillary in the moment that's getting a lot of attention because she, I gotta say, it's kind of bullshit. So Lauren Boebert was there, among others, when Hillary was deposed, and she decided to take a picture of Hillary and to leak it to Benny Johnson, who put it on his social media during the middle of the deposition. Well, the depo was going to be made public. It was understood and agreed that it was going to be made public, the videotape of it. So it doesn't make it really like a capital offense, what she did, because it was all becoming, it's not like, oh my God, we never would have seen it had it not been for this Lauren Boebert snapshot. But I'm not going to lie. It was a classless thing to do. Follow the rules of the depo, all right? Like, you may hate Hillary Clinton, but she's the former Secretary of State. She did show up. She's answering the questions. Like, fucking just go along with the protocol. And it's not up to you to upend the whole situation by taking a snapshot and leaking it. Benny Johnson did nothing wrong, but I don't think Lauren Boebert should have done that. But okay, she did. And when Hillary found out about it, because it hit social media seconds thereafter, and that they had violated the agreement between Hillary's team and the House Oversight Committee, she wasn't happy. Here's a bit of that.
Excuse me, can I interrupt? There are photos that are being released of the secretary as she is testifying from inside this room. Can you please advise me as to whether or not that's permissible and consistent with the rules, particularly given that we have asked for a public hearing? If there are photos that are being released of the secretary as she is testifying, can you please explain how that can occur?
I'm done with this. If you guys are doing that, I am done. You can hold me in contempt from now until the cows come home. This is just typical behavior.
We will go off the record.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
So I would like to understand how that's permissible.
Before the hearing was,
It doesn't matter. We all are abiding by the same rules.
I will take that down.
Yeah,
So
well.
I would like to take a break at this moment.
Yeah,
I'd like to have
I'm
a
done
conversation.
for now.
Go off the record. Go off the record.
I'm going to shock you, but she was right. Like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm on her side. They shouldn't have done it. Like, these things are always negotiated. I've taken countless depositions, and they're always negotiated, the terms of what's going to be available, what's going to be publicly available, what's on the record, what's not, but all the stuff. And it's the subject of countless phone calls and letter writing with the lawyers before the event. And everyone there is expected to live up to the terms. And we were always going to see Hillary on tape offering her testimonial. So there was no reason for it. Okay, there was no reason for it. And I think Lauren Boebert jeopardized the day's proceedings with a stupid thing that was kind of pointless. All right, so write it down in the calendar. What's today, March 3rd? I'm in agreement with Hillary Clinton. I've got one more, and this is where she has a heated exchange with Nancy Mace in SOT 60. She's asking about Hillary's relationship with Howard Lutnick.
When I was senator, on 9/11, the firm he headed, Cantor Fitzgerald, suffered the greatest loss of life. As I recall, something like 650 of his employees were murdered by terrorists that day. Howard Lutnick missed being a victim because he was delayed dropping his child off to kindergarten. You asked the question. I'm going to answer your question.
Now you're gonna yell
This
at
was
me?
what I spent
You're
my
going to yell at
time
me.
doing.
I'm a survivor trying to look out for other survivors trying to
and
get to the bottom
I was
of it.
taking care
You
of
waited
the
6
people
months
who
to
lost
get here today.
3,000
6 months,
lives
and now you're being
at World
defiant
Trade
and
Center.
indignant today. You have emails. You've denied that Jeffrey Epstein, that you tried to get Jeffrey Epstein to give money to you.
I did
but
not.
Howard Lutnick was
If
used
you
to
have an
get
email
money.
with me asking Jeffrey
I
Epstein
have
for
an
money,
email from Howard Lutnick sending it to
what's
Jeffrey
the question?
Epstein and his people to
I
raise
don't-
money for
I don't
you
know about-
for an event, an intimate event for you at his offices
Well,
at Cantor Fitzgerald. You're
look,
going to sit
if
here
you-
today
if you would
and,
let me
and,
finish.
and obfuscate and say to this committee, you didn't try to get money from Jeffrey
I
Epstein
didn't.
when
I
there was
didn't.
Okay, that went on. I will say Hillary did a good thing in the longer answer where she said to Nancy Mace, because you heard Nancy Mace say, I'm a survivor. And Hillary said, I'm aware of your story and I respect what you've been through and your testimonial about it that I heard on the floor of the Congress. I mean, like, she had her moments there. You know, sometimes you got to give it to her. She's no dope, and she practiced law for a number of years, so she knew how to handle herself in there. But look, the bottom line is no substance really was offered in the Hillary portion of the event. And it did not appear that she knew that much, or at least wasn't prepared to give up that much. Think about this. In 2006, $20,000 equaled roughly 33 ounces of gold at spot price. Okay, $20,000 got you 33 ounces. At today's prices, those 33 ounces would be worth about $165,000. That would have been a very good investment. And that's why so many smart Americans do diversify a portion of their savings into precious metals. They're thinking about what's going to happen in the next 20 years. And it's also why you should consider buying gold from Birch Gold Group. For thousands of years, gold has been a store of wealth. And today, it is a crucial part of any balanced strategy. Even better, Birch Gold can help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered retirement account in gold. All you have to do is text MK to the number 989898, and that will give you a free info kit on gold. There's no obligation. It's just useful information from which you can make a decision. With an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of happy customers, let Birch Gold help you diversify with gold. Now that's peace of mind. Again, text MK to 989898 today. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.